I already predicted the massive MyProtein rebrand would face a no pain, no gain reality. So, what is THG CEO Matthew Molding all fired up about? I'll decode that introductory statement or question a bit later in this content, but since THG, aka the company formerly known as the Hut Group, did just release its latest trading statement, I thought it would be prudent of me to kind of start off this content by running through some high level financial data. This will obviously update you on how the brands within the THG Nutrition segment performed recently, but more importantly, give context for my expanded strategic commentary on global supplement market dynamics and trends. Just some kind of quick financial mumbo jumbo housekeeping for us Americans. I did the currency conversion on all of these financial metrics. So these numbers will be in US dollars, not British pounds. I'll also be using the constant currency percentages, which just means the currency fluctuations of this multinational company are stripped out for the ease of comparisons. Additionally, for those that might not be too familiar with THG, the company is currently made up of several different divisions. There are two branded product divisions that focus on the beauty category and then the previously mentioned nutrition category. They also have a proprietary end to end direct to consumer e commerce SaaS solution called THG Ingenuity that is essentially the master switch that powers THG Nutrition and THG Beauty, but it's also licensed to third party brands. And while I believe understanding the whole THG machine is important, this specific piece of content is only focused on updating you on the recent performance of THG Nutrition, which includes the world's largest online sports nutrition brand, MyProtein, and its family of sub brands. The largest of those being My Vitamins and My Vegan. So let's start with a quick financial overview of THG Nutrition. In the first quarter of 2024, THG Nutrition reported generating revenue of approximately $188 million, which was down 5.8% year over year. Maybe what's more concerning is that revenue dropped about 10.5% from the last quarter. That's a bit abnormal as the new year, new you Q1 seasonality boost of new buyers into the marketplace usually helps supplement companies grow revenues quarter over quarter. So, what's up with these poor growth rates when the overall global supplement market continues to grow? Well, if you've consumed these THG Nutrition quarterly updates throughout the last year, you'll recognize a few of these major things going on here, but I've added up to date insights on each one, so don't skip over it by mistake. Firstly, THG still mainly deploys a global digital first commerce strategy with something like 85% or maybe 90% of its total revenue coming from that channel. That's an awesome long term positioning, as few would argue that e commerce won't continue gaining share of global shopping behavior, but in the interim, supplement shoppers at least are enjoying the extended breadth and depth of categorical merchandising inside large physical retail channels globally. Seeing these shopping behavioral trends, THG Nutrition has continued investing in retail partnerships where they place a limited or exclusive SKU range as part of a bigger demand generation strategy. In fact, MyProtein continues to be the fastest growing sports nutrition brand across UK retailers with first quarter gross merchandise value more than doubling year over year. MyProtein also just launched in a portion of GNC's US locations with its protein wafer bar lineup. Globally speaking, MyProtein is now stocked in around 20,000 retail locations, which is expected to help drive the retail mix of total GMV from brand sales towards 25% offline over the medium term. One such example of physical retail expansion that continually gets updated and kind of highlighted by THG leadership is the development of MyProtein products that are sold under licensing agreements. Currently, this strategy is being deployed in the brand's two largest markets, the UK and Japan. When done correctly, these types of retail partnerships boost customer touchpoints and broaden brand appeal. Specifically in its home market of the UK, MyProtein is merchandised in about 1,500 retail doors via licensed products and just recently expanded into ready to drink protein coffee by collaborating with Jimmy's Coffee and then chilled goods like protein pancakes. It's kind of unknown the royalty payment that THG Nutrition books on these transactions, but To help us outsiders a bit, though, on kind of visualizing the impact of these licensing retail sales, THG Nutrition started listing out its total global gross merchandise value. In the first quarter, the contribution from licensing partnerships improved THG Nutrition's total GMV to down 3.5%, with UK total brand sales growing 6.2% year over year. Secondly, THG Nutrition over the last few years has acquired several supply side businesses and needed to transition them from primarily servicing third party brands to now focusing on internal THG Nutrition production. So, this would be more of a kind of behind the scenes distraction thing, but an important operational strategy that has already begun showing up from a bottom line profitability perspective. Additionally, a 2-year project of moving to local manufacturing in India launched in the first quarter. This decision will drastically improve delivery timelines, speed up localized product development, help minimize currency risk, and further secure significant cost savings. Over the next 3 years, India is expected to become a key market for THG Nutrition. A similar overhaul is happening in Japan as continued currency devaluation risk is being addressed with the launch of local manufacturing in the second half of this year. Thirdly, was a major strategic decision that saw MyProtein not exercise the highest level of pricing power on the market over the last 2 to 3 years. The strategic logic was that even though protein input costs had doubled to almost tripled in a short period of time, the company prioritized its loyal customer base over maximizing near term gross margins. It's well documented in content that I was supportive of this strategic decision, mostly because MyProtein utilizes a heavy promotional strategy, and that price sensitive customer file would likely leave the brand if they instituted huge price increases like competitors on its key whey protein SKUs. So, as I mentioned before, with THG Nutrition being a deeply vertically integrated business segment, and the fact that categorical margins already are traditionally higher than other ingestible CPG categories, leadership had the kind of luxury of instituting price protection for consumers, in turn, placing emphasis on customer retention and keeping acquisition focused opportunistically on consumers that were looking to trade down within the functional CPG category. But as you would expect, turning off aggressive acquisition for an elongated period has a negative effect on THG Nutrition's active customers and total orders, both down slightly less than 3% year over year. But the hope is that the quality of that customer file should have improved, which is extremely important when you combine it with the next point about the global rebrand. Right now, the rebrand rollout is still in process with about 40% of products available now under the new branding in the UK and Europe. Because of that, THG Nutrition's revenue performance reflects in part its decision to temporarily reduce new product launches in each market. But I wouldn't be too concerned with that interim sales impact because even after a market has fully switched over to the new MyProtein brand strategy and is back to launching new products, a leading indicator of a successful rebrand, in this case, will be a bit of customer churn. Early results of the biggest rebrand in the 20-year history of MyProtein is said to be promising in that the brand awareness has grown 4 percentage points higher since rolling out in its home market of the UK. More importantly, though, THG Nutrition leadership needs to kind of pay close attention to key commercial metrics over the next year because to continue moving upstream in positioning and unlocking sales channel diversification opportunities within the American market, it needs to ensure this rebranding decision is well received by and generates brand affinity with those less price sensitive customers. The truth is, rebrand process or not, THG Nutrition could grow revenue higher if they wanted to do that. The divisional net margins tell us leadership could pull hard on that acquisition lever again, but strategy is at its highest impact when you also consider timing and cadence of decisions. It's not always about pushing as fast as you can at all times. There's a few game theory like chess moves ahead, which the massive rebrand and the potential risk associated with it impacts. So I don't want to minimize the importance of that either. So maybe it would be valuable if I rattled off a few recent marketplace actions made by MyProtein that could be associated with unlocking future winning chess moves. The first that I want to mention is a remix attempt to elevate the MyProtein brand through a line extension product strategy. I would kind of normally skip over a typical boring sports nutrition brand strategic move like this, but I found one innovation of the Origin high performance range interesting because it's specifically developed to be used when you are dry scooping. The other move is one that I mentioned earlier, but in a slightly different capacity. By being able to attract high quality, high value licensing partnerships, it can help ensure the MyProtein rebrand is well received by and generates brand affinity with those less price sensitive customers. So that can be more flavor licensing, like what they did recently with Tapatio hot sauce, or utilizing entertainment IP to bring creative concepts to life from major players like Disney. Moreover, they can and should continue to come from attractive business combinations like partnering with City to Surf, the largest fun run in the world, and Hydrox, the global sport of fitness racing. Because remember, this rebrand is intended to move MyProtein away from primarily speaking to seasoned gym enthusiasts to creating a more inclusive lifestyle brand centered around health empowerment. We can see that as they start to reform the product architecture around three specific health objectives: prepare and optimize, build and recover, and then everyday fitness. But to drive this home with consumers, I think THG will lean into what they're calling the MyProtein Move Club to help build global community through movement. But THG CEO Matthew Molding said on the earnings conference call that more licensing announcements will be coming soon on the THG nutrition side. And this is probably a good transition to close on what I said in the introductory statement, but also provide you with an update to last content's joke about Matthew Molding and I becoming best friends. Short answer is no. He's still keeping me on kind of parasocial relationship status, but he did double down on directly throwing shade at his haters on LinkedIn, which I appreciate. This time, calling all the flip flopping pundits and analysts out for being stupid and suggesting THG should sell or close the beauty and ingenuity divisions and just keep nutrition because then the company would be valued at least double. Furthermore, he jokingly predicted now all those same people would be calling on him to close THG Nutrition because of the recent top line revenue struggles. I'm sure this is the type of stuff that the British media or financial or business worlds hate, but at the same time, in America, we wouldn't even bat an eye to it, which further supports my belief that it's inevitable that all or parts of THG will be listed in the American stock markets soon enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting the like button to support me. Also help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that I think just over 90% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.